everybody and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys what my OWLS readathon TBR is going to be. So I had three kind of jobs, I guess, that I really like the sound of. So that was the Alchemist, the Spellmaker and the Mind Medic. And I've decided to go for the Mind Medic. I was originally going to go for the Alchemist, but because of all of the stuff that's going on with the virus and the overtime I'm having to take at work to allow to supply people with the food that they need, I thought it was best to go for one that's not too hard because I'm pretty sure the Alchemist has almost all, if not all, of the prompts. If I have enough time, I would like to do the Mer People Linguistics as well as an extra course on the side. So for the Mind Medic there is 8 prompts. So I am going to be reading 8 books and 4 of those are going to be a Kindle limited book. So I won't actually have them to physically hold up, but I have figured out how to put a picture in a video, so I will put the picture up. I'm pretty sure either on this side or this side of my head, depending on which one's got enough room. But I will read you guys out what the Mind Medic is. Wizards need to keep a well-organised mind, however sometimes such hectic lifestyle and unpredictable events prove it a difficult task. A Mind Medic is a person charged with helping those who no longer feel balanced. A Mind Medic trains for years in psychology theory, therapy and practice, alongside some of the most intricate, challenging spells and counter spells that can help a person whose mind troubles them. Some are actually caused by a backfired experimental jinx or a generational curse, while others occur entirely naturally. The Mind Medic is a professional trained in the art of recognising the type of mind block and providing a variety of solutions and healing plans. This is considered a very dangerous and important profession and carries a lot of responsibility. You're meddling with the mind after all. A mind wizard or witch puts their own mind at a risk as many curses are designed to attack the wizard attempting to break it. As a consequence, St. Mungo's Hospital, Ward 49 is very happily inhabited by ex-Mind Medics. As such, professionals are highly sought out, well paid and also held to a very high academic standard. And on the bottom of here it says St. Mungo's Hospital now looking to hire 10 Mind Medics. Nothing suspicious about it, please just apply. And I thought that was really funny and I like that little weird bit at the bottom. So let's get through the prompts and the books that I have chosen for each prompt. So the first prompt is Ancient Runes, which we are looking specifically at a heart rune, so there has to be a heart on the cover or in the title of the book. So for this I'm going to be reading A Jar of Hearts. It is a thriller. How far will someone go to bury her secrets and hide her grief? How long can you get away with a lie? How long can you live with it? So it seems like it's going to be really interesting. I'm not 100% sure how long this book is. Like I said, this is going to be one that I read on Kindle Unlimited because they have an app. A lot of people will say that it's a psychological thriller, which is my perfect kind of thriller. I love a psychological fuck. Definitely sounds like something that would be right up my alley, and I definitely have been feeling more thrillers and a bit more of a horror kind of vibe at the moment. So the second prompt is Arithmancy, and that is where you read a book outside of your favourite genre. So as I said before, I feel like my favourite genres come under fantasy and thrillers. I feel like I read a lot more of those, as well as quite a few crime books, so there's also one that I thought was there. But I don't read a lot of non-fiction at all. I read one non-fiction this year already and I absolutely loved it. So I have Papillon by Henry Cherry, and this is actually one I got from my library. This is basically a true crime book and it sounds really interesting. I only picked it up recently and I'm so excited to give it a read. It is a really chunky book, but my best friend Sophia says that this is a really good one to read, and I do take a lot of my book recommendations from her because I do trust her opinions. Don't get me wrong, some of our tastes just don't interlock. Like, she really likes classics and I personally, I don't get along with classics that well at all. So basically this is about Henry, who was commended for a murder that he did not commit, known as Papillon. He was sent to the penal colony of French Guiana. 42 days after his arrival he made his first break, travelling 1,000 grueling miles in an open boat. Recaptured, his spirits remained untamed. In 13 years he made 9 amazing daring escapes, including one from the notorious Devil's Island. An immediate sensation upon its 1969 publication, Papillon is one of the greatest adventure stories ever told, a true a true tale of courage, resilience and an unbreakable will. It just sounds like it's going to be really good. I love stuff about like prison break, so I am very excited to see how his experience was inside a prison basically. Next prompt is Charms, and that is a book with a white cover. Now I'm pushing this one a little bit out of the boat just because I didn't want to purchase another book. So I've gone with Tess Gresson, Presumed Guilty, and this is mainly a white cover. It is pretty much white, but it does have like a rugged white paper like look to it, so it is a little bit off-white. It's a bit blue, but the spine is very white. But I really want to read this. My mum's read it. This is the last Tess Gresson on my own personal shelves I have to read, and I love her books, as I said before in my reading vlog for The Surgeon. I absolutely adore her style of writing. I get through her books really quickly, and I just really enjoy the way that she writes in general. It's really easy to read. So basically this is about a woman called Miranda Woods, and she comes home from work to find a man dead, stabbed on her bed. And she is like the first obvious suspect, and she looks even guiltier when her bail is paid by an anonymous donor. As Miranda fights to clear her name, she unearths a murky history of blackmail, corruption and scandal. As she gets closer to the truth, it becomes clear that someone else wants to kill Miranda, someone with a personal reason for wanting her out the way. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. The next prompt is for the Defense Against the Dark Arts, and for this one you have to read a book that is set at sea or on the coast. And I actually chose a children's book. I believe this is a children's book anyway, but I don't know, it just looked cute and I wanted to read it, so I thought why not. And again, this is another one that I got on Kindle. And it says, in the summer of 1727, a group of men and boys are put ashore on a remote sea stack to harvest birds for food. No one returns to collect them. Why? Surely nothing but the end of the world can explain why they have been abandoned to endure storms, starvation and terror, and how can they survive housed in stone and imprisoned on every side by the ocean. I just thought it sounded a bit interesting, and I also just was looking for a bit of an easier read. So prompt number 5 is Herbology, which is a title that starts with the letter M. I have cheated in this one. I'm just going to blankly say I have just cheated with this, and I have gone for a book where the author's name begins with M, both names. So I've gone with the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series, which is Scarlet by Marissa Myers. I have read Cinder this past month and I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it, but I did say that I'd be curious to move on to Scarlet and see whether my love for the story develops, because I felt like it was kind of like a setup book. You know, you get the setup of the plots and where things are going to go, so I do still want to give Scarlet a go and see what my opinions are. I just couldn't find a book that I wanted to read that began with an M apart from Brandon Sanderson Mistborn, which I do really want to read that series, but at the same time, like I said, I'm already halfway through so many series and I just want to complete a few studies, and for this you had to read a contemporary. So I chose the Flatshare, which I've had a lot of mixed opinions on. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't think that I'm personally gonna like it from other people's opinions on it. Okay guys, let me address the elephant in the room. Yes, I did have to move places from my room downstairs because my sister's trying to do TikToks with the Flatshare. I'm not too sure that I'm gonna like it, hearing other people's opinions of it. People that I love to watch don't like it, and quite a few of the books that they enjoy I really enjoy too, so I have a feeling that I'm not going to enjoy it much, just based off other people's opinion, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. And again, this is another one that I'm going to be reading on Kindle Unlimited. So the next prompt for being a mind medic is Potions, which is basically to read a book under 150 pages long, and I have chosen Shakespeare's Othello for this because I have to read this anyway for my A-level in English. So yeah, and I do have the children's version of it right now. It's quite literally 58 pages long, so that is not going to take me long to read at all, and it's also got photos in, so half the pages are empty anyway, like empty of text, and the text is humongous. So this is what I'm going to read for that prompt. I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare. I don't hate him completely, but I am far away from loving him. But yeah, I just thought may as well, you know, it's a short book. And finally, probably the biggest prompt on here for me is Transfiguration, which the prompt for that is basically to read a book series that includes shape shifting, and I believe that it is a whole series, I'm not too sure, but for this I chose Charlene Harris' Dead Until Dark, which is the first book in the Suki Saka House series. I have read this series quite a few times now. I think I've reread it 2 times, so I've read it 3 times in total, if not more. I think it's a really easy read, and it's not the best writing, but it is actually quite interesting. Like, in my opinion, it's quite interesting. Like, I personally think it's quite interesting and quite entertaining, and I was actually inspired by Becca and the Books to read this because she did read them quite recently, and I just thought, you know, I haven't picked it up in a few years, so I may as well read this. And yeah, so that is the last book to fit my OWLS prompts for being a mind medic. I'm going to do another video talking about the books that I want to read next month in April outside of the OWLS magical read along as well. So yeah, and I also have a March wrap up coming your way very soon as well. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here and would like to see more videos from me, and also let me know if you're going to be participating in the readathon as well, because I would love to know what career path you chose and which prompt you found the hardest to find for. Yeah, so yeah, I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.